What is up, everyone? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 17 Back-to-Back Battles. We are going up once again with our Torkoal team. Torkoal, Lilligant, Weavile, Tapu Bulu, Gyarados, and Xurkitree. We're going to be fighting an opponent with the team of Gigalith, Stoutland, Garchomp, Raichu, Alola, Milotic, and Celesteela. So very interesting team composition. Yeah, Sand is going to be pretty annoying to face, but I don't know. Weavile Gyarados looks pretty good in the matchup. Yeah, I kind of like that. I like Weavile Gyarados. Do I need Lilligant? Because I do want to bring Torkoal. It helps against Celesteela, as well as get rid of that special defense boost in the Sand that Gigalith gets. As well as, I do like Lilligant, because I think it might be Scarf Garchomp from my opponent's side. Yeah, I like that. So I haven't been uploading for the past couple of days, and I've just been, I don't know, tired, like headaches. I haven't actually played Pokemon at all. So coming back, starting fresh after a few days. So let's see if I still got it. We're still using this pretty fun team. It's kind of grown on me. Let's see if I can keep up the momentum and its undefeated streak so far on camera. Hopefully I can. Who knows? My opponent does have a pretty scary team. Garchomp is going to be very annoying, especially if my opponent leads Raichu. Raichu is going to be pretty annoying to deal with. Let's see how it's going to go. It's going to be Milotic and Raichu, so probably anticipating the Gyarados lead. I don't really mind Milotic leading. I did anticipate it, but I don't really mind this at all. I get Gyarados in. It can set up a free Dragon Dance. I really don't see a problem here. So Intimidate is going to go off into Milotic, so it's going to get a special attack boost, which means it's going to get a +2 special attack. Adrenaline Orb. Not expecting that, but that usually means it's more of a frail Milotic. Usually Adrenaline Orb Milotic will have quite a bit of speed investment to outspeed Pokemon such as Garchomp and Tapu Koko. And you need quite a bit of speed investment. I think I'll go for the fake out into Raichu since Weavile is faster, and I'll just set up my Dragon Dance here. It's very safe. I might be able to knock out the Milotic with the Continental Crush. I just hope that Milotic doesn't go for a, well, it doesn't get a status condition on me, such as a freeze or something like of that nature. We're going to see the Scald come out into Weavile. We should take that pretty comfortably. And no burn, which is very nice, as we are going to get the Dragon Dance up with our Gyarados. So Gyarados is looking in a very good position. My opponent's trying to knock out my Weavile to gain him the upper hand of Pokemon. Most likely trying to win the Weather War. But that fake out did a lot of damage, as you saw. 25%. And that's a 40 power base move. Not even stab. So Ice Punch. Let's see. Ice Punch is about 75, I believe. So should be able to knock out this Raichu. Maybe. I'm going to go from, well, with stab, it should be able to knock out the Raichu. Or do I risk that? Well, I do kind of want to risk it, actually. I'm going to go for the Ice Punch and a Dragon Dance here again. I'm very sure that Ice Punch should be able to knock out the Raichu at this range. We're actually going to see Raichu withdraw, which is fine. Garchomp's actually coming in. Ooh. Oh. Okay. So it is a very fast Milotic, as I do confirm here. The reason why it's like such a fast Milotic is because it outsped Weavile. But then again, my Weavile is kind of slow. I don't remember what I made to outspeed. Let me see. What was his base speed? 185. What is that outspeed? I think it's Salazzle I was trying to outspeed. Okay. So I'm going to bring out... I could bring out Torkoal. I don't really see a point in bringing out Torkoal. I guess I'll go out to Lilligant here. Garchomp can't really do much. Maybe Stone Edge, Rock Slide, or Rock Tomb. But the Milotic should have speed investment. So that means it shouldn't have as much bulk. So I can just knock it out with Tectonic Rage. Do I want to attack with Lilligant? I just don't know, like, my Garchomp calcs. I don't know if Poison Jab knocks out this Lilligant. I'm going to protect the Scout and just go for the Tectonic Rage, I think, into the Milotic. It's a very safe play. I don't want to lose a Pokemon yet because I don't want to be forced to bring out my Torkoal just yet. Although I might not even want Torkoal to come out yet because The fact that Sun is going to negate my water type attacks pretty heavily. So we're going to go for Tectonic Rage. Going to use our Z move. Completely fine. Let's get rid of this Milotic. The Garchomp, we should have free reign over the Garchomp soon if I get a bit of chip damage. So Tectonic Rage, going to fire off into Milotic. Should be able to pick up the knockout easily at +2. And a Gyarados, I think that's going to be a knockout. Yep, that's going to be a knockout. Let's see what the Garchomp goes for. If it goes for Rock Slide or Rock Tomb. A bit mad at myself. Rock Slide does come out. Sleep Powder would have been the play. Or maybe Leaf Storm getting off chip damage. As Gyarados is about to take about half its HP, which is alright. Let's see. Raichu probably coming in. I would assume Raichu. Yep, Raichu's going to come out. I don't know if this Raichu carries Feint or Encore. I feel like my opponent could go for Fake Out into Gyarados. Encore into Lilligant's a pretty safe play if you expect Gyarados to protect here. Or Feint if you expect Gyarados to protect here. Go for Rock Slide. I'm going to go for my Sleep Powder into the Garchomp. And very safe play of just going for the Protect with Gyarados, I think. Lilligant isn't threatened other than a Poison Jab or maybe a Double Up. So I feel like this is a safe play overall. Let's see. My opponent's going to go for the Fake Out. It's going to target down to Gyarados. Makes sense. Poison Jab? No, it's just going to be a Rock Slide. Excellent. So if we connect the Sleep Powder, we're in a very good position here. But we have to get through the Flinch chance plus... Okay. Nice! Okay, is this Lumberry Garchomp? I doubt you are. I doubt you are. I really doubt you are. Nice. Okay, so that's pretty much ideal. I wasn't really expecting him to make the Fake Out play, but it was a safe play for my opponent, I guess. But now what that allows me to do is I get now a Leaf Storm and an Earthquake off. A +2. I definitely outspeed the Raichu. I can go for the Earthquake. Put this Garchomp in range to a Leaf Storm, I believe. And then it will be down to 2 Pokemon. Garchomp hasn't taken its guaranteed turn of sleep, so it's guaranteed 1 turn of sleep. So that means he either has to switch out Garchomp in order to try to save it, or Garchomp gets knocked out here. Assuming I hit the Leaf Storm, of course. But Raichu's going to switch out. Gigalith, maybe? Celesteela, okay. So that's actually great, because my Torkoal plus Lilligant actually probably wins this game after this. Going to go for the Earthquake here. Very safe play. And as long as we hit Leaf Storm, we should win the game with Torkoal, actually. So, ooh, that actually doesn't do as much to Garchomp as I wanted to. I was hoping it would do 60%. Leaf Storm is going to come out, target on the Garchomp, and that is going to be a knockout. Okay. So Garchomp's going to go down, and... Alright, this is still a pretty interesting game. Pretty interesting game. Raichu's going to come out here, and now let's see if the Raichu goes for any of its tricks. Maybe it carries Feint, as I said. It could carry Encore, but Encore's not going to help in this situation because I'm just going to double protect here. If my opponent, the only way my opponent can benefit is by going for a Feint or maybe Substitute, I guess. But if I keep Lilligant around with my Torkoal, I win the game anyway. So even if there's like a Z move, I shouldn't KO either one of my Pokemon, unless it's the Electrium Z or the Raichu. What is it? Raichuium Z? Otherwise, I'm not really worried about Gyarados going down. If Gyarados goes down, I get my Torkoal in. I could click after you Eruption and just win the game from there. I don't see a problem, really. Unless the Raichu carries Protect and Celesteela goes for a sub this turn. I guess that's, like, the only bad thing that could actually happen. But as long as I'm able to knock out Raichu, I think this is fine. Double Protect here. Let's see what my opponent goes for. It's going to be the Psychic into the Lilligant slot. Anticipating to protect from Gyarados, and Air Slash actually coming out from the Celesteela, so it's most likely the special variant of Celesteela. Raichus don't usually carry Protect in VGC, although since this one doesn't have a Coco, it would kind of make sense to have Protect, but I think I'm going to go for Sleep Powder in the Celesteela and a Waterfall. So it looks like my opponent opted not to bring the Weather in this game, and I think that's a fine call from my opponent. It makes you feel more comfortable, and you always have to play the mind games with your opponent if they're going to bring the Weather or not, and I don't think my opponent wants to fight the Weather War. I'm going to miss the... What is it? The Sleep Powder onto Celesteela. Celesteela is actually not even going to be able to knock on my Gyarados, which, you know, I would have been fine. It most likely would have been a special attacking Celesteela, so most likely got a special attack boost. I go for the After Eruption. Game over. I'm just going to keep clicking Sleep Powder and Waterfall. I'm going to sack my Pokemon until I can bring in Torkoal safely and click After Eruption. Waterfall should do a good amount. This is +2 Waterfall. Should do 60% at least. Yep. Sleep Powder gonna connect, and you know, we're hitting Sleep Powders now, but I'm really hoping we hit Sleep Powders when we really need to, because, well, the Garchomp one was pretty helpful, but the Celesteela one was pretty unnecessary. But now I can go for, I guess, a Leaf Storm, since Lilligant can't do anything to Celesteela anyway, in a Waterfall, and we have this game wrapped up. Yep, as the game is going to be over, and we will take the first win of today's episode. Very nice, very nice. It's pretty interesting to see the Raichu on my opponent's side without a Tapu Koko. Usually you see Raichu paired with Tapu Koko because of the electric terrain. But I guess it makes more like a anti-Koko situation, because you are able to, if they bring Koko, they summon the electric terrain for you, and they are then able to, oh, that was weird lighting for a second. But then they are able to threaten you with Fake Out, Encore, and Shattered Psyche, which does knock out Tapu Koko unless you're like a bulky variant or an Assault Vest variant. So, makes sense. My opponent didn't exactly like, well, actually, there was a Gigalith. I'm not sure if it was Scarf Garchomp. I don't think we ever confirmed that. I don't know. Could have been not. We'll see. We're going to find Alex LJ from Italy with a 1697 rating as our second opponent today. Bring the team of Kartana, Gigalith, Tapu Koko, Porygon 2, Marowak, and Gyarados. This looks like a very early metagame team, and current metagame team actually, with Marowak over Arcanine. It's pretty interesting. Okay, Xurkitree could do work. I just don't like facing. Okay, Gigalith, Porygon 2 is going to be such an annoying lead to handle. But, okay. If I'm able to get rid of that Porygon 2, Gyarados actually has so much fun against my opponent's team. Like, really, it just has so much fun. I don't know what my opponent would bring. Probably Marowak, I would assume Gigalith, Porygon 2, and then what would be the last? I don't think you bring Kartana in this matchup. Kartana doesn't do that great in my opinion. Tapu Koko, maybe? I could see Gyarados coming in as well. What do I want? I don't want to leave Torkoal, Lilligant, maybe Weavile, Gyarados. Like, I'm afraid of the Porygon. Maybe I leave Lilligant, Weavile? That actually might make sense here. Tapu Bulu and Gyarados, I think. Oh, this is so weird. I'm going to go with it, though, because I want the Bloom Doom, because Bloom Doom will allow me to KO, well, at least do probably 75% in terrain to the Porygon 2, and that's what I'm going to aim for. I'm going to try to weaken the Porygon 2 from the first turn. I don't know, though. This could be very scary. Let's see what my opponent leads. Maybe Tapu Koko to prevent me from going for Sleep Powers into the Lilligant. We are going to see Tapu Koko and Porygon 2. That is fine. I wonder if Twinkle Tackle knocks out Lilligant. I don't think it does. Lilligant has decent special defense. Alright, so Pressure's going to activate for the Weavile. Electric Surge is going to activate. This is a pretty fine situation for me. I feel like my opponent just goes for an attack with Tapu Koko and just tries to go set up Trick Room. What I'm going to do is just going to go for the Sleep Powder into the Porygon 2. And I'm going to switch out into my Tapu Bulu, get the grassy terrain up, and what this allows me to do is knock out the Tapu Koko after, because Wood Hammer will in grassy terrain will KO Tapu Koko. I'll be able to outspeed it, get a Wood Hammer, knock it out. This is actually a pretty good situation for me. So I'm assuming the last two would be Gigalith and Marowak. I don't see Gyarados being brought here. I don't know. I think Marowak's a pretty solid option. It's a good resist. Maybe? I don't know. Could be interesting. Tapu Bulu's going to come out, bring that grassy terrain up. We're going to be relying on hitting this Sleep Powder, though, so let's see. Dazzling Gleam. Okay, good. My opponent did go straight for the attack, like my opponent should. Oh, that did so much damage. Of course. Of course. Of course, we missed the important Sleep Powder of this video, and Lilligant goes down, and I think that's game. Unless I flinch. Yeah, I have to flinch the Porygon. Well, that's unfortunate. Gonna bring out my Gyarados here. If I bring out Weavile, it doesn't matter because I'm forced to Wood Hammer the Tapu Koko. And my opponent can just do some switching, so... if we hit that Sleep Powder, it's, well, 75% accurate. I guess I shouldn't, but we would have been in a really good position here. We could have Wood Hammered the Tapu Koko, went for that Bloom Doom into that Porygon to get a lot of chip damage. The chip damage is really what I wanted. I have to go for a Wood Hammer into the Tapu Koko as well as a Waterfall. I have to go for a Flinch on Porygon too. That's so annoying. Of course we missed, and this is why I don't use Sleep Powder or very inaccurate moves. I stopped. I remember using Jumpluff in VGC 14. That thing was so fun. Fast Sleep Powder? That was so good. But the fact is, the reason I was not going to bring Jumpluff to Worlds in 2014 is because I didn't want to miss Sleep Powder because it was so important. So I opted for Moongins's instead. Porygon 2 is actually going to switch out. Marowak's going to come in. That's taking a Waterfall, so I guess I'm okay with this. As we are going to get a Wood Hammer off into this Tapu Koko. That should pick up a knockout. Yeah. It might have been Specs because that Dazzling Gleam did a lot. As we're going to get a Waterfall off into this Marowak. Going to do a ton of damage. Yeah, that did so much damage. Tapu Bulu going to be healing with the terrain. Maybe I could hope that Wood Hammer plus Tectonic Rage knocks out the Porygon 2. I think that's my only hope at this point. I don't think it will though. Porygon 2 is just so bulky. It's just so bulky. I think I'm better off hoping for the flinch at this point. Let's see what comes in. Well, Porygon 2. Gigalith should be in the back, so I have to save one of these Pokemon. Marowak should be in Wood Hammer range, so maybe I go for the Waterfall into Porygon 2. That does make sense to me. Because I think my opponent should just go for a Thunderbolt or maybe an Ice Beam. Download's going to activate, get an Attack Rise. I'm going to go for my Waterfall Flinch into the Porygon as well as a Wood Hammer into the Marowak. I need to hope for a flinch at this point. I don't think I can win otherwise. I really don't think I can win otherwise. I'm pretty sure Marowak, you shouldn't protect here. You should just go for an attack. Marowak isn't helpful in this game. You know that I only have Lilligant in the back, and Lilligant's already weakened. Actually, no. No, Lilligant got knocked out. You don't... I brought Weavile. Okay, yeah. Marowak doesn't protect here. Good play by my opponent. Because in case I doubled up Porygon 2 and you protect, you might lose the game. Have to go for this Waterfall flinch. Gonna be damaged by recoil. Here's a Waterfall. 20% chance to flinch. Can we get it? Yes, we do. Okay, that's actually really good. That puts us back in the game, I think. Now it depends on what my opponent has. Probably Gigalith, I would assume. It should be Gigalith. Yeah, okay. Here we go. This is gonna be a interesting game. Wood Hammer knocks out Gigalith, but if I double into Porygon 2 and he goes for a Rock Slide, it'll be single target because Tapu Bulu will knock itself out to recoil. So I have to make a read here, I think. Or maybe I should switch out into Weavile. Weavile can't take a Rock Slide though. Oh, this is tough. Okay, I'm going to go on to Weavile here, and I'm actually going to go for the Wood Hammer into the Gigalith. Hope that he doesn't protect, and I hope he goes for Thunderbolt into the Gyarados after. Trying to pick up the knockout on Gyarados, and not out Trick Room yet. So I could fake out, go for Dragon Dance. So Weavile going to come back out. Let's see. Gigalith protects. That's not good. But what does Porygon 2 do? Trick Room? Yeah, it is Trick Room. Okay. That's not good. And Terrain's about to end if I am correct. I should have just doubled up the Porygon 2. I think I had the game one if I did. But I wasn't exactly sure. Because I'm very sure Wood Hammer plus Tectonic Rage would have knocked out the Porygon 2. Oh, Terrain doesn't end, which is great, but he should just Ice Beam Rock Slide. I guess I hope for the Rock Slide miss. But even then, can I win? Tapu Bulu goes down to Recall. Gyarados is left alone. He has Thunderbolt, most likely. He did show Thunderbolt, right? No, he did, I believe. Or maybe he didn't. I don't think I can win, to be honest. I'm going to fake out the Gigalith and bring out my Gyarados here. Alright, I don't think I win, to be honest. I think I needed to go for that hard read. Go for the Woodhammer Tectonic Rage. Maybe I banked on Gyarados living a single target Rock Slide. I mean, it could have. But this is Gigalith we're talking about. That's pretty strong. Alright, we fake out. We should see an Ice Beam in the Gyarados slot, most likely. Yes. But Gyarados is taking a bit of chip damage. Ooh, this is gonna be... then I have to recycle. I don't think I win. I don't think I win unless I flinch one of these Pokemon. It's probably gonna be how this game comes down to. Okay. Grass does disappear from the battlefield. I don't mind sending the grass from my opponent, I think, because I do need Weavile alive to get one more fake out off, so just gonna protect and go out into Tapu Bulu, sack my Tapu Bulu, and try to get fake out pressure once again for my team. I think I'm fighting a losing battle here, but I'm pretty sure that this game's wrapped up. Sleep Powder missing really just, you know, hurt it, but I think the play that I could have done was just doubling the Porygon 2. But then again, well, I'm pretty sure it would have knocked it out. A Grassy Terrain Woodhammer from Tapu Bulu is very strong, with a Continental Crush from Gyarados. So Tapu Bulu coming back out, gain the terrain. As we protect our Gyarados, let's see, Rock Slide should be coming out. Yep, Rock Slide, and I'm guessing Thunderbolt, unless my opponent doesn't have it. Tapu Bulu Voice Attack. Tri-Attack comes out. Oh, so my opponent doesn't carry Thunderbolt. That's actually good information to know. It might actually mean something here. Porygon 2 is still taking chip damage. But how much does Tri-Attack do to Gyarados? I think that's a big question here. I'm going to go on to my Weavile. I think we have to fake out the Gigalith once again, because I don't want to risk the chance of flinching. Tri-Attack doesn't do that much to Gyarados. Maybe about 40%. 2 turns to trick him. Okay, we can do this. Fake out the Gigalith. Go for Dragon Dance. Okay, this is still going to be very tough. I think I'm going to have to hope for some kind of 10 or 20% chance to win this still. I either need an Ice Punch freeze onto the Porygon 2, or I need a Waterfall flinch on Porygon 2. I think those are the only ways I can actually win. Gigalith protects. I guess? I don't see, like, the reason for that protect, though. Unless you thought I was going for Waterfall. I guess that's fine, then. But Waterfall wouldn't have knocked you out. Tri-Attack. Okay, Dragon Dance. Whew. I still have Continental Crush. This is like the one time where Hydro Vortex would have actually been able to do a lot of work here. Because it might have been able to knock out the Porygon 2 if I'm able to get some Ice Punch damage off. I'm kind of surprised my opponent wasn't going to target down the Weavile, because playing the Weavile in range of the Rock Slide I think would have been pretty huge. Maybe you go for it now expecting to protect. I'm going to go for my Ice Punch. I got to hope for a freeze here. 1 out of 2 chances. Well, 2 chances to get a 10% freeze. And I don't know what the odds are. I think my opponent has, what, 30% chance to unfall every time? Maybe it's 20. I don't remember. Alright, Gyarados protects here. Let's see. Continental Crush. Okay, good play. That either knocks out my Weavile, or I don't think it knocks out Gyarados, depending on sand turns. Because it's -1. But it might be able to knock out my Gyarados at this range through Protect. No, it's going to target the Weavile. Okay, that should be game. And Weavile goes down, and that would be a good game to my opponent. So, yeah, maybe if I clicked the Bloom Doom there. Oh, wow, my opponent actually goes for Recover. I actually think he Try Attack there. I don't think there was a point of going for Recover. The reason why... I don't know, I don't agree with Recover there. The reason I don't agree with Recover there is because Try Attack would have been able to knock out my Gyarados. Yeah, it does knock out my Gyarados at that range, I believe. And you risk me getting... I don't know. You risk me knocking out the Gigalith there and then flinch your Porygon 2 for a chance of victory. But, yeah, maybe turn 1 I should click Bloom Doom just for the damage on the Porygon 2. But I found my opponent would just try to stop Trick Room right away because, to be honest, my team doesn't have a Trick Room answer. And the only way that I could use Trick Room to my advantage is Torkoal. But he always had the Gigalith in the back as a switch, and so I don't really see any reason not to go for Trick Room there. So that's why I went for the Sleep Powder. Risked a 75% chance. Didn't get it, but, you know, don't run Sleep Powder. I've actually been looking into Quiver Dance Lilligant, though. And I thought that would be pretty cool because Quiver Dance Lilligant with a Bloom Doom in grassy terrain, I think that knocks out Porygon 2. So that was something that someone suggested to me. And I thought that would be pretty cool over Sleep Powder. But then again, Sleep Powder is what allows Torkoal Lilligant to be really strong sometimes. We're going to see the team of the... Okay, we're going to see a Hail team of Vanillix, Sandslash Alola, Hariyama, the Tapu Lele, Arcanine, and Kartana. Very interesting team. We're very, very threatened by this team. Very threatened. Okay, so unfortunately, I don't think Xurkitree is going to get a showing in today's episode because Xurkitree doesn't do much in these matchups that we're facing. I'm going to go Weavile Gyarados here because I don't want to... I could lead my Sun mode because Eruption's going to do a lot to my opponent's team anyway, but I'm pretty sure my opponent leads Gyarados. I mean, not Gyarados, Arcanine. So I'll lead Torkoal Lilligant in the back. I'm going to hope to knock out that... Jeez, what's with this lighting? Okay, so I'm going to hope that my opponent is going to send out Arcanine, and I'm going to try to KO it right away. The problem is Wild Charge. Because my opponent might have Wild Charge on the Arcanine. Freeze Dry the potential from the Vanillix, most likely. It's going to be very annoying. Let's see what my opponent leads. Weavile Gyarados will take the field. As we face Arcanine, most likely. Yep, Arcanine Hariyama. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty annoying, actually. What is this lag? Pressure? Intimidate? Oh, that Arcanine's fast. That Arcanine is fast. It's faster than my Gyarados, so that leaves me to believe he is a very, very offensive variant. So most likely carries Wild Charge. I think my opponent just goes for Fake Out Wild Charge into Gyarados because if I Fake Out Arcanine, you Fake Out the Gyarados, prevent it from doing anything like a Dragon Dance. So I'm actually going to Icy Wind here and Protect. Because if my opponent does make that play, because Gyarados is a big threat to my opponent's team if I set up, I feel like that would be my opponent's best play. Fake Out into the Weavile. What? Yeah, Wild Charge, okay. What? Fake out a Weavile? If I just faked out your Arcanine, you would have been screwed, pal. Unless my opponent predicted Icy Wind, but I really doubt. Icy Wind is not a common move you see on Weavile. But I guess I'll reset the Gyarados right here. I'm going to go for my Icy Wind. Lower this Arcanine speed. I'm going to hard into my Lilligant here. This isn't a bad situation for me, especially if my opponent goes for Wild Charge again. Get Gyarados out of there. Lilligant comes in to absorb the Wild Charge. Icy Wind does not connect. That's really bad, actually. Oh, that's so bad. That's actually really bad. Wild Charge into Lilligant doesn't do much. Heavy Slam coming out. Can I live this? No. I'm going with Intimidate. Do I risk Sleep Powder? Let me just check the speeds. No, Lilligant's definitely slower than that Arcanine. I'm going to go on to Gyarados. I think I'm going to click Sleep Powder and hope for the best. Missing Icy Wind was unfortunate because my game plan was have Weavile get knocked out there. Arcanine's at -1. I can go for Tectonic Rage into Arcanine potentially and go for a Sleep Powder into the Hariyama, or I could just Sleep Powder to Arcanine with a Dragon Dance and would have been in a fantastic position. That stinks. Of course, I missed a 90% accurate move. I'm going to go for the Protect here with my Gyarados, and I'm just going to Sleep Powder this Arcanine. It might be Banded Arcanine, so that's why I'm going to go for Sleep Powder. Kind of frustrating, to be honest. This game does not love me. Alright, so Protect from Gyarados, Wild Charge into that Gyarados, Sleep Powder. Okay, I didn't think it would be Safety Goggles with Wild Charge because I don't think that really makes much sense. Don't be a Lumberry. Okay. Close Combat. To Lilligant at -2. Yeah, that's not going to do much. Oh, that did more than I expected, actually. I am going to Dragon Dance up with my Gyarados. Arcanine is a guaranteed turn. And I'm just going to Sleep Powder to Hariyama. I mean, yes, I guess I'm in a decent position now. Okay, Arcanine stays in and is fast asleep. Let's Sleep Powder to Hariyama. Because if not, we're going to be in a bad situation as, let's see. Sleep Powder does connect with the Hariyama, so we're in a, alright. We're in a fighting position now. We're in a fighting position. Let's see what my opponent goes for. Okay. I'm going to go for a Waterfall into the Hariyama, and a Bloom Doom should be able to knock out this Hariyama at -1. So I'm going to go for it now. The reason I went for Sleep Powder is because Hariyama's not doing much to my Gyarados, which is right now my main offensive presence. Waterfall going to connect with the Arcanine at +1. It's going to be able to pick up the knockout. Most likely was an offensive Arcanine, so not carrying much bulk most likely. Going to go for the Bloom Doom here and try to pick up the knock on Hariyama, and I'm guessing that it'd be Vanillux and the Sand Slash in the back. So if I can get that position, I'm going to hard switch in my Torkoal next turn and Protect with the Lilligant and go for After You and try to win the game from there. Or I could just Protect Sack my Gyarados. I think that works too, actually. Yeah, I think I like that better. Bloom Doom, going to be able to knock out the Gyarados with a critical hit that does not really matter. And should be Sand Slash plus Ninetales in the back, if I'm not mistaken. Vanillux. Oh yeah, Vanillux is Vanillux, not Ninetales. And Sand Slash. Okay, perfect. And what I'll do is try to sack my Gyarados here, I think, at this point of time, and protect my Lilligant so I can After You Eruption in the Sun and win the game. Earthquake should be able to knock out Sand Slash. Well, not if the Sand Slash has like an Aurora Veil, which they kind of tend to carry on these kinds of Vanillux teams. Gonna go for the Protect with my Lilligant here, as we're going to see, yep, the Aurora Veil. So Torkoal would have been the best play there, but I don't think I have to risk it, to be honest. I just need chip damage. We're faster than Vanillux. That's actually really good to confirm here, as we do get an Earthquake off, which should do probably 50% to the Sand Slash at least. Yeah, 50%. And the Vanillux gonna go for the Blizzard, so that's alright. This game is still gonna be a bit difficult. Luckily, no freeze, because the freeze would have sucked. It would have sucked. It really would have. I will save my Lilligant here, and I think I'll sack Gyarados here because I'm going to try to bring in my Torkoal next to Lilligant as soon as possible and try to win the game from there. So I'm going to go into Torkoal, save my Lilligant so I can After You. After Your Heat Wave should just be able to win the game. I don't think with Aurora Veil the Vanillux is living. Of course I do have to connect Heat Wave, so let's see if I can even connect Heat Wave, but most likely my opponent's just going to double into Gyarados with like Icicle Crash, which actually misses, which is alright. We're going to get a bit of chip damage onto Sand Slash, which I probably should have targeted Vanillux, to be honest. Blizzard, Gyarados avoids the attack. I don't need the voids. I actually wanted you to hit the Gyarados. And I guess I'll just protect Earthquake. Again, I'm just trying to set up for my Lilligant to come in so I can just click after your eruption and win the game from here. Just KO my Gyarados. Did you really have to miss both moves? Unnecessary. Really unnecessary. Okay. Get the Earthquake off. They should knock out the Sand Slash as well as put this Vanillix in range. Yes, it does. So Sand Slash goes down and the Vanillix will go for the Blizzard here. And does connect with my Gyarados this time. And yep, we get the free switch into my Lilligant. I can click after your eruption. We'll knock out the Vanillix at this range. And that will be good game. Unless Vanillix, for some reason, Scarf Vanillix is faster than Lilligant under Sun. I don't think that's the case, though. At least I really hope that's not the case. I don't think it should. No, I outspeed Scarf Garchomp. I should be able to outspeed Vanillix. So I'm going to go for my After You. And here we go. Eruption. And that would be a good game to my opponent. So unfortunately, this team did suffer its first defeat in today's episode. Oh, we don't even get to show off the After You eruption. That's kind of stings. But I hope that everyone enjoyed today's episode. If we learned anything in today's video, we learned that Sleep Powder is not the move you should rely on to win games. But it actually did win this game after missing the Icy Wind, which is kind of ironic. Which is way more accurate than Sleep Powder by 20%. But I hope that everyone enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please leave a like down below. It really shows your support. You can check out the team down below and previous episodes, my social medias. Otherwise, yeah, if you have a question, feel free to leave a comment down below. Otherwise, I will see you around in the next episode.